Hey folks, welcome to Wednesday, the 2nd of March 2022. And we've gotten there. Oil, we've seen this morning up at 100 and, let me check it, 111, spot 48 on WTI. So we got there, we got to the 106, 107's target that we've been talking about for a number of months now. And now just starting to pull back. And I think structurally, this is quite a large accomplishment for oil, for the market. I think we can really kind of settle down now into trying to find a suitable price for the environment we're in. But with the situation, elevated in Ukraine, unfortunately, I think this market is more skewed to the upside than it may have ever been in history right now, with the tightness of supply coming into this Ukrainian situation. So look, let's get over the charts. Also, what we're seeing on equities here today, bit of downside, a little bit of downside being propped up in a couple of places. DAX, for example, well, I'll show you on the daily here because do want to cover the US session. But with the DAX, we're actually back to the high of the week of the 17th of February 2020, right before COVID breakout before COVID started to break out across the world from China here. So, and then of course we all know what happened thereafter, but we have wiped out all the gains from really from the recovery point, which you would say kind of, or the gains above there from 22nd of February 2021. So we basically wiped out all of the 2021 gains is what I'm saying right now on the DAX. The 200 weekly moving average is 13,572, is just below here. All right, so do watch out for some big areas to trade here on the DAX. But largely supported by this 13,703s, which is that 2020 level there. So, watch out. Excuse my voice; I've just got a little bit of a throat thing going on. Let's drop the DAX here. Look at the NASDAQ, and we'll just go across from left to right. So on the NASDAQ, on the daily bars, we can kind of switch to a weekly here. You can see we've been down to test the 100 weekly moving average pretty much to the tick, and then getting bid back up there last week. But this week, oil now accelerating to the downside market right now. WTI, we have moved about $3 in the last 30 minutes here, boys and girls. All right, so yeah, with the Nasdaq, it's trying to recover from this low. The dip buyers are in. They're having a hard time right now, really, but I think invariably we are going to at least get up and retest 13,371s on the highs here, which we actually haven't done since the dip on the Ukrainian invasion. And then we can start to probably push back up. But, it's quite a tricky market at the moment. Not an easy dip buy at all, but I think we can still manage to get up higher. We have a lot going on. We have we've had a tech rout before the Ukrainian situation. A lot of moving into energy stocks away from tech stocks. We've got 5 rate hikes priced in for the year set to come out. We're going to have news on that towards the end of this month. With that Fed meeting that we'll be covering live from about 7 p.m. GMT. And then we have the invasion, right? And so a lot of this is priced in right now, and it's really, once we have seen the downside coming on equities, maybe not so much in the NASDAQ, but more so in the SPOs, when the situation in Ukraine really escalates. And so yesterday, of course, the Belarusians joining in the fight on the Russian side, invading as well, and that really kind of weighed on equities after the European morning. So we did approach some pretty decent areas quite early on in the session, 7-8 a.m. up into the 200 EMA on the SPOs, and then just sold off, couldn't catch a bid for the rest of the session at all. But you can see it did rewind here on the daily charts on the right of your screen. You can see rewound back down to that 42.76 that I've got on these charts. quite a decent low the last couple of days to be buying. I think we can easily kind of get back up and test the highs of yesterday. I think on this, notwithstanding headline risk, I think if the situation really does deteriorate in the Ukraine over the next 5 hours, 12 hours, and that would be in the guise of this convoy of tanks just start shelling the crap out of Ukraine or the capital Kiev. Then I think you're probably going to see further downside on equities. All right, so do be careful out there, boys and girls. It's a fluid situation. Something to note: the 500 exponential daily moving average does sit down here with the SPOOs on 4,000. So I have a suspicion that we are going to be looking at this level. There is in pink below here. This is actually a gap that's remained open for quite some time. Now, I would love to see that gap filled and then just get absolutely crazy long this market. And that gap was kind of created here back in April 2021, then retested on the high, but not filled on the 13th of May 2021. So I am kind of drawn to this at the moment, but I'm going to take this big circle off for now because I don't want to focus on it at all. So for me, the opportunities aren't great in equities at the moment, to be honest. Obviously, I'm an energy trader and I'm an oil perma bull, and yeah, it doesn't get much better than this, really. So I'm quite entertained and kept happy with oil at the moment. So what else? The dollar is continuing to just hold on the highs. We're now holding above that gap up open top, pushing into that 97.74 34s again, as I had said we would. And I think we can get quite crazy to the upside above here. Just looking at this, my target would be 100.4 on a breakout above this area on the Dixie, and I think it's warranted over this sort of risk sentiment. And so, I do want to look for a long in the euro. If we start to, I'll show you here, if we start to push down even further, the 100s, I'll show you there. I think, a push down here is going to have temporary support, but ultimately over the coming months, I think we're just going to be crushed down below here, right? And so, we haven't been down below there since before 2000, well, for a very, very, very long time. All right, so I think for the market to just push straight through, I can't see that happening in one go, to be honest. So let's see what we get. Bund, yeah, the Bund did close the gap down it had overnight, and now it's just kind of getting a bit of support, 169.71s. And yeah, you can see already the dollar just not able to hold at the moment above that 97.74s. All right, gold. I hear people asking in the background, gold. How high is gold going to go, Tim? Well, really, to be honest, I don't care. I don't care about gold anymore. It's not my trade. I don't care. 2000, fine. Technically, yeah, another, a reversal down onto the gap open S1 1920s. I think 1929s is a bit too obvious of a support area now. You're probably going to see people get flushed out on that, and then reversal on the S1 today, about 1920, somewhere like that. And then we can get on for the 2000 marker. And above, actually, and above. But really, it's a dirty trade. There's easier ways to make money in these markets. So yeah, I mean, tell me how you really feel, Tim. Well, yeah, that's about it. So, yeah, look, gun to my head, I like holding gold long, with a stop below 1840s, or this sort of line in the sand, right? So that's kind of how I feel about the longs in gold. Um, I think a breakout, sure, here around the 1929s area, should see us through up to the 2000 marker. So, that's about it for me on gold weekly bars here. All right, and Nat Gas. So Nat Gas, yeah, the Widowmaker continues to crunch its way back up on these prices. So talking this morning, weekly bars here on your screen. We saw a lot of flushing out on the highs there over January, just coming on back down. Then big gap down the following week, first week of February, or sorry, second week of February, and then finding those moving average supports and getting on up. So this reversal that we've seen this week so far, down to here below 493s. I think the buyers are in. They're up. They've loaded the nachos with queso, with dip. It's all on there, and they're going for the big one now. I think so. Swing trade uh, targets T1 4 spot 936, T2 5 spot 582s, T3. You heard it here first. 6 spot 749s on Henry Hub Nat Gas. Is that going to happen? Well, I wouldn't be surprised if aliens jumped out of the bush right now, the way things are going. So, listen, that's it for me for another pre-US. Have a good day out there. Be careful. Be really careful. These markets, especially oil, have a massive range on them. So, yeah, do be careful out there. Please do click the like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you. Actually, I won't talk to you tomorrow because I'm off the desk tomorrow, Friday, and Monday. So I'll talk to you next Tuesday. All right, stay safe. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.